Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler review series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there to try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about the stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I'm reviewing this because I needed to finally review it, because otherwise I was just going to drink all of it. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? What happens to be my Static X shirt, one of a few that I have. I do really like this one. Character of Zero on the side, and then, the actual band members over on the other side. Very, very cool design. If you're unfamiliar with the band Static X, though, they're a band, they've been around since around sort of like the mid-90s, and so I think is when they really kind of got their start. Really broke out in the late 90s, early 2000s with their first album, Wisconsin Death Trip. Like, just kind of took everybody by storm. I still remember, for me personally, I was ahead of the curve. I'm going to pull that card, a little bit of a hipster thing. Because back when I was in high school, I forget, it was middle school. I think it was more middle school than high school, but I could be wrong. Somewhere in that time, somewhere in that, frame, I used to go over there and I used to stay up really late and I used to watch MTV to try to, find new bands and stuff, because that's when they would actually put their stuff on before they became big. And Static X was one of those bands. I came into school the next day with all the cool, new metal kids, and I was like, hey, have you heard about Static X? You're like, that sounds lame. And I'm like, you're lame. And it turned out I was right. I mean, they were actually probably fine, but Static X is cool. I actually have seen them perform live a number of times. I have a number of videos of theirs on my channel, just in case maybe you want to check them out. Nothing else, I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction, because I think they're a cool band. Clearly. Well, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, I bought this with the intention of reviewing it, and it's been in my fridge for about a week now, and it finally was like, all right, I need to review it, otherwise I'm just going to drink it. Because, folks, it happens to be from Bubly, Bubbly Sparkling Water Lemon Sorbet flavor. All right? Bubbly's been doing some weird stuff lately, man. They've been coming out with some interesting flavors. I've been reviewing, occasional sparkling water here and there. For me, at this point, it basically does just come down to, okay, who's got the most interesting stuff? And right now, Bubly, they're tossing some stuff out there. So, first of all, let's get a thing for a thing. I don't know how the lighting is going to go with this. Kind of, maybe something like that. Ha 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 ha! And let's give it a go. Lemon sorbet. That does have a sort of sorbet kind of smell. Wow, neat. But that's smell. Let's try the taste. Okay. Let's give it another sip. Okay. The initial hit, when I first got it, I was like, oh, okay. It's doing that thing that a lot of sparkling waters do, where they smell really nice, but when it comes to the actual taste part of things, they're fairly lacking. That really was the initial hit that I got from it. Was like, okay, just kind of tastes like a sparkling water with kind of a light lemon taste. But as I went over there and I let it do its thing, the sorbet aspect really did kick into effect, and it genuinely took on a very similar flavor to the smell that I was getting. Not one for one, but it's still pretty dang close for what it was, and that was actually really cool and unique. Because the initial hit is more just kind of like a light lemon sparkling water. In and of itself, that's not terrible. It's nothing to write home about, but it's okay. But after that, you do get sort of this almost sherbety, kind of creamy kind of taste that really, not only does it kind of like liven things up, but it really just changes the whole profile of the drinking experience, because it goes from, being again more kind of, sort of lightly citrus oriented to not exactly sweet per se, but like definitely a very different drinking experience from start to finish. So that's actually really cool. Like, I never would have thought of lemon sorbet as being a flavor of sparkling water, but to Bubly's credit, like, that actually worked really nice. And it almost changes, like, with the change of the flavors, like, it almost changes kind of just like the overall drinking experience. That's really neat. I actually kind of like this. It's pretty good. And I say that, and it's like, typically I'm okay with Bubly. When it comes to sparkling waters, I'm not opposed to the idea. I do think it's a little bit, I don't want to say it's a trend per se. I think that if I'd said that maybe like, 7-8 years ago, I would have, probably been more on point. But at this point, they've become firmly established. They're an option. There's lots of companies doing them. I'm perfectly fine with it. And I don't even mind reviewing them for the show, like, because some of them, increasingly, I think they're doing a good job of actually making them interesting and, nice to drink instead of shit like LaCroix. Maybe I'll review LaCroix sometime. It's been a long time since I've had it. Maybe it's not as bad as I remember. Or maybe it's worse. But no, I think that, with them doing stuff like this, it not only does it go over there and it allows you an alternative option, if you just want, something that's got that fizziness. It's cool that they're also giving you a wide variety of interesting flavors to go off of. And I think this one actually works really well. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I think yes and yes. I think that for me personally, I'm not going to say it's my favorite flavor of Bubly. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I don't think this is quite it. But I do like it. Like, I like that it's really interesting to drink. And even just as a baseline, I tend to prefer like the sparkling waters that are more sort of citrus, like lemon lime based and stuff. I feel like they just work better for my palate personally. So even just on that level, I like it and I think it works nice. Excuse me. But add on the fact that it has a really unique flavor profile to it. Only thing is, I don't think this is a flavor that I could drink like back to back, with like a lot of frequency. Maybe I'd have to sort of grow into it, but I could see sort of getting a little bit tired of it if I were to do something like that. But that remains to be seen. That's just kind of my personal feeling. If I'm recommending it, though, I think absolutely. I think that, especially if you're a Bubly fan, a sparkling water fan, I think this is a nice addition to their lineup. Mind you, I don't know how long it's been in their lineup. Maybe it's been there since the beginning. But I know for me personally, I haven't had anything quite like this. Oh, man. Person walking by. That's why, part of the reason why I love doing my reviews in the colder months, part of it is just because I don't have to deal with the heat, but the other part is that most people are afraid of the cold, so they, don't fuck around as much when I'm doing this stuff. But anyway, I'm going to keep the review going, even if that was a little bit of an awkward break. But no, I think if you're a Bubly fan, if you're a sparkling water fan, and I don't know, different people are going to feel different about it. I'm sure they just have their personal favorites. But like I said, I personally like the fact that they have this variety out there. And I think this is a really nice one. I think this is one of those ones where it's definitely worth at least trying and picking up. Maybe it'll be your favorite, maybe it won't. But at the very least, it's not doing anything wrong. So, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly Bubly-tastic rest of your life. Because Bubly, like Michael Bubly, he's a guy. I think he's a singer, right? I know the name more than I know the person. And I know that he eats corn the wrong way because I saw a meme of it one time. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. Not there every day with you in it. life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I want you to go out and do. If you ever decide that you're going to do a food review show for YouTube or whatever, platform you happen to be doing it on, make sure that you go over there and you find the best appropriate places and times to go over there and do them, because I knew I was taking a risk with this one, because it's like, well, it's a little afternoon, it's the weekend, people are probably going to be out and about. But I was like, well, if I just find a spot where there's not a lot of, but nah, if there's any chance that people can be around, they will be around. Always best to go over there and try to find a good home-based location. Mind you, I say that, and it's like, Brandon, why don't you just review more stuff from your house? And it's like, because it's a pain in the ass to review stuff from my house, damn it. Plus my audio. People complain about my audio when I do these reviews, and I'm trying to work on it, folks, I promise. I don't know what I need to do to fix it, but, I'm working on a few things. But people complain about my audio, and it's like, my audio is a million times worse when I do it in my back room, so, but we'll figure it out. Anyway.